Hi, studies. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So this video is well detailed, and I love the fact that a lot of people are weighing in on what is going on and how Black people withdraw their support for so many reasons, right? And now that they withdrew their support, they are running around screaming that they don't care about them, right? Because they decided to take care of their home first before anything. Now, I am going to say this. This video is more talking about how Black people have invested so much. When I talk about investment, they have invested a lot when it comes to other people, right? And people do not invest on Black people. That is the pure truth. And it's either you believe it or you live it. People they do not invest. All they do is a leech, right? They keep sucking. And when they are done, when they finish what they want, they run away because it is no longer their problem for that point in time. And then they come back when they need it. I love the fact that, so one thing with life is that something is absolutely going to open your eyes one day, especially when it is not aligning. And you all can see how this particular one is not aligning. And they are running helter-skelter because Black people decided that it is over. And I love the fact that it is over. Let's get into this video.
It's comical watching these online internet activists fuck around and find out what happens when Black American people withdraw their support for your cause. It's comical being anti-Black and racist toward Black American people as though almost every single right or privilege that any non-white person in the United States has isn't because of the work and the actions and the movements of Black American people. It's comical thinking that's not the case. It's comical thinking that Black Americans aren't responsible for this push to support Palestine, to support the Palestinian liberation movement, to support a ceasefire, to support a trade embargo against Israel. It's comical thinking that it's white Americans supporting that and it's not Black Americans who've been making the most noise about that. It's comical. And before you jump in my comments or stitch or duet this video saying, oh, well, there are white leftists who support Palestine, the few white leftists who support Palestine are doing it because they're playing the oppression Olympics. This is a morality game for them, and whatever cause is the most popular is the one that they vocally support the most. They're still just as Islamophobic, they're still just as xenophobic, they're still just as racist as the next person. It's extremely comical how anti-Black, and specifically anti-Black Americans, so many foreign immigrant communities are here in the United States. And I say that as a person whose family is Jamaican, who was born abroad in Jamaica, and who is now a naturalized U.S. citizen. The anti-Blackness from my own Jamaican family, who are otherwise Black by appearances, was comical. I had to school them on it real quick. But it's comical watching it come from other foreigners and watching it come from people of color. It's especially comical when you ask these super duper internet revolutionary leftists, well, in the upcoming US presidential election, what are our best options if we don't vote for Kamala Harris and Governor Walz from Minnesota? What other options do we have to defeat someone like Trump and get him the hell out of here permanently? Not what should be our other options, not what should be in a perfect world with more than a two-party system, not what the perfect world should look like. Here, now, in the moment, with the options and the power we have right here now, what do you suggest we do? It's comical when you ask that question, you just get blocked, you get reported, you get told that you're uninformed, you don't know what you're talking about, etc., etc. It's comical when you ask these same super duper internet leftist revolutionary armchair radicals, well, what do you have to say then to some people who've been interviewed in Gaza and Palestine who say that they hope that Kamala Harris wins the US presidential election because they know that with her in power, they stand a better chance of having a ceasefire than someone like Donald fucking Trump. And it's comical that their response to that is, well, those people in Gaza and in Palestine are uninformed. Those people currently experiencing a genocide are uninformed about the genocide they're currently experiencing. Isn't that comical? It's also comical that when you try to also use your voice to speak up for what's happening in the Congo, in the Sudan, in Haiti, in Tigray, you're told, well, no, that's not the focus right now. The focus should instead be on Palestine, and keep Palestine's name out of your mouth if you're trying to speak on other issues at once, as though we're not all human being Homo sapiens with brains that can do more things at once, and I can do, I can blink my eyes and I can talk and walk at the same time. It's comical trying to draw attention away from causes that are surrounding Black people in Africa and in the Caribbean and instead direct our voices elsewhere. It's comical being told how we should advocate and how we should speak up. It's really comical. I really think it's especially comical. And watching it from the perspective of a woman who comes from a foreign Black family that's from another country in the Black diaspora who currently lives here in the United States, I think especially it's hilarious. Foreigners who come to this country and bring all their anti-Blackness and try to absorb the racism of the white supremacist structure around or that exists in America because they think maybe, put them on one rung higher than Black American people, you will fuck around and find out exactly how America operates. Because if there is one thing America dislikes more than a Black American person, is a foreign person who does not speak English. If there's one thing that American will distrust more than a Black American person who at least speaks English, is a foreigner, again, who does not speak English and who comes from a faraway land that is stereotyped as always being at war or in conflict or in poverty. Americans will close ranks real fucking quick. Black Americans and white Americans will close ranks on you so quick if you start talking out the side of your neck. And I need foreigners to learn that real quick. Accept that. And furthermore, to everyone saying, oh, well, Kamala is just as bad a Zionist as Trump. First of all, Trump was the one who instituted the Muslim ban. Did we forget that? Has that escaped us? That was just like recent memory. Do we not remember that? One. And two, with someone like Kamala in power, we can at least have a better chance, a better opportunity at having a ceasefire in place, at having women's rights restored, at having voting rights permanently protected, at having, affirmative action reinstated. What do you think Trump will do if he ever sees presidential power again? Exactly what do you think he will do, especially to brown people from the Middle East currently living in the United States? What do you think he will do? Quickly. Yes, Black Americans in particular are going to prioritize their own survival because we live here in America and we're Black in America. So yes, we're going to prioritize our domestic affairs because if y'all want our voices and our support so fucking much, how are we supposed to fight and protest and boycott on behalf of you if someone like Trump is in power and has us back in chains? How exactly is that supposed to happen? And again, don't respond with, well, this is what the right wants. They want this division. They want this, or, this is in a perfect world, how it should be. No. We're not talking about shoulda, coulda, woulda. We're not talking about hypotheticals. This is real life right here, right now. And one thing foreign people eventually learn after so long is that here in America, a white society and the overarching society will close ranks. They will put all racial differences aside. They will put behind the history of enslavement, Jim Crow, genocide against Native Americans. They will put all of that aside and close ranks when it comes to foreign individuals. They will do that so fucking quick, it'll leave your head spinning. And last but not least, on this lovely rant that I am currently ranting about your favorite bad bitch with a law degree complaining and doing what I do best, whining. Okay. Last but not fucking least, please do not forget that if it were not for the civil rights movement championed by Black American people, foreigners who come here to the United States will not enjoy the rights, the privileges, and the liberties that we can happily sing about now, without the advocacy and without the support of Black American people. The civil rights movement reformed all of the immigration laws in the United States so that the rest of us could come here and enjoy the same thing that Black Americans should have been able to enjoy as a result of being enslaved and building this country from the ground up. So if you want to talk mess and if you want to be anti-Black and racist, trying to catch yourself or call yourself white, well, at least I'm not Black, you will find out very quickly just how quickly this entire American system, politics, how they will redistrict stuff, they will close ranks on you so fucking quick. And I'm speaking from experience as a foreigner myself. Keep it cute. So I've talked about how foreign people of color are jealous of the perceived privileges that Black American people have. And based on the feedback in my comments from Black American people, I would like to add some key details to that discussion. The biggest takeaway that I observed from the feedback in that video from Black American people is that foreign people of color absolutely refuse to accept and acknowledge the price that Black people had to pay to have these liberties and privileges. And it's a price that Black American people still pay today. It's a price that was paid in blood, bones, backs, muscles, joints, autonomy, freedom, etc. See, what I've observed being a foreigner myself and being raised in a foreign family, what I've observed is that foreigners are in this silent, one-way competition with Black American people as to who is oppressed more. And it's very much like oppression Olympics. Yeah, well, you have that stuff going on in your country. In my country, we have XYZ. In my country, our politicians are all corrupt. In my country, we have famines. In my country, etc., etc. It's like this routine dismissal of the price that Black Americans have to pay to be American. As so many of the commenters in that video pointed out, being Black in America has not been a cakewalk, for lack of a better phrase. It hasn't been something easy. And something else that Black American people also pointed out is that foreigners can choose to migrate to America and move to America because foreign people of color, we have autonomy. We have agency in being able to choose where we live and where we call home. For Black American people, historically, that choice was robbed from them. It was deprived from them because imperial powers traveled to the continent of Africa, kidnapped African individuals by violence and by force, trafficked them to the Americas, and then forced them into chattel slavery for hundreds of years. Like, we cannot underestimate the centuries that Black American people spent as enslaved property in the eyes of the law. Then after that chattel slavery was over, Black Americans then had to spend a subsequent, 2 centuries under Jim Crow and segregation laws, still being viewed as inhumane property. Can we please remember that Black American people did not have the right to vote in elections until the 1960s? 1964 specifically. My mother was born in 1966, just for reference, and I'm a 31-year-old millennial. Thank you to all of the commenters who provided that feedback in that video, and please forgive me, the only reason I didn't include these important pieces in my discussion was just for time constraints. But yeah, foreign people of color are envious of Black Americans and absolutely, by the same token, refuse to acknowledge the price that Black Americans have had to pay to live in America, and it's a price that they still have to pay. And also refuse to acknowledge that, yes, although we come to America and experience xenophobia, we had agency and we had autonomy and the power of choice in coming to America. That was a privilege that was ultimately deprived from Black Americans. If it were up to Black Americans, they would not have come to America. Again, they were kidnapped by violent imperial powers and then forced into centuries of chattel slavery by force, by violence. All agency, all autonomy, all choice was removed from them. So of course, Black Americans are going to watch foreign people of color come here and get to live in post-Jim Crow, post-segregation America, post-chattel slavery America, and then get to claim, oh yeah, America is this great land of milk and honey, has all these wonderful opportunities that I don't have in my home country. And Black Americans, they don't take advantage of those opportunities. Because let's keep it real, with the existing anti-blackness that, pervades every society on the planet, foreign people of color thus come to America and view Black Americans as lazy and thuggish for not taking advantage of all the opportunities that exist in America. Well, yeah, we can come to America and immigrate to America in the 90s and the early 2000s and say, yeah, there are opportunities, because we weren't subject to the centuries of oppression that Black Americans were subject to. Yes, our ancestors in our home countries were subject to it, but our ancestors didn't do anything about that oppression, which is why we had to leave our home countries. Black Americans here in America did, and that's why we have freedoms, because of Black Americans. And that's why you see so many foreign people of color feel perfectly comfortable fixing their lips and talking down on Black Americans, because I don't know if the psychology of it, I've talked to my own family about this. Is it that you view yourself as white? Is it that you view yourself as, now that you're American, you can oppress someone else, and whom you choose to oppress is Black people? Because as I've observed, foreign people of color never have this energy for the actual white systemic structures and institutions that actually oppress all of us. Foreign people of color, like I've said before, also envy the fact that Black Americans protest and boycott and speak up and fight and advocate in ways that foreign people of color don't do in our own home countries, and then come here and have the audacity to speak out the side of their necks towards Black Americans as if, what, you think you're white in this structure? You think you're white in this system? Because I can assure you, we're not. So if you are a foreign person of color living in America who emigrated here, or you're the children or grandchildren of immigrants, please understand and accept quickly that the only reason we were able to have the agency or the autonomy to even migrate to America in the first place is solely because of the work of Black Americans. And Black Americans living in America are American in name only. I can assure you the privileges and the liberties that we wax poetic about do not exist for most Black Americans, and have not existed for Black Americans for centuries.
I mean, this is just a very beautiful video, and shout out to her. She did a great job with the way she analyzed it. Now, let's start by this. I keep saying it, this is not the first time I am saying, but I'm also very happy that this is coming from her. She made mention of almost everybody benefiting from Black people, and that most of the rights almost every one of them got was because Black people paved the way for them, and that it's on period. I remember when I didn't even know where I came across a video where somebody was talking about how are always very quick to tell Black people that why is it that immigrants and all that we migrate and will be able to probably how did they say that, probably do better or excel. And I looked at that and I was like, they are all able to migrate or live right now because Black people paved way for everybody. So I asked them, why didn't they come over during Jim Crow, during the segregation, during the redlining, and the rest of it? All of them, majority of all of them started coming. It was after the whole slavery. I mean, I'm not like there was still Jim Crow, right? But it's now to the barest minimum. So I was asking, why didn't they move over and start making money? I mean, you all already know that before you farm, right? You definitely will clear the bushes, right? Till the ground. Then before you start planting, some people did that for almost everybody. Because if you look, like I keep saying, African American history is literally everybody's history, right? If you look at the history from the onset, from the Asians, from the Hispanic till the last of them, Black people fought hand in hand with every one of them. Ask, they will tell you. So it is not a thing of today, right? Now, like I keep saying it, the system already is built not for them. It's just like the way was this person's name, one of those Pakistanians, if I am not mistaken, are these Palestinians. I mean, they're all family that came out to say that she's been living in the United States for how many years? Literally, okay, I think about 6 years now. And she said that she is on free education. She doesn't pay a dime to be in school, right? The benefit. But people like me, my own people, do not have any free education. They go to school and they pay in full. And their taxes are used to fund your education. I even see there are also a lot of Africans that come to US, come to America. They come to America on scholarship, right? They come, finish school, and some of them probably start acting like, it's all their world. I want you to know that that school you are going to also is not free, right? It is called free education. That is but some people are paying for that. It is some people's tax money that is paying for it. So there are now, like the Palestinian woman that said that she's here on scholarship or she's here on free education or whatever she said. And there are so many things affecting Black people that Black people do not know that she knew. And I looked at her, was like, just imagine. The truth is that a lot of people are jealous of how Black people carry themselves, right? I'm not saying this because I'm trying to patronize somebody. I am not patronizing anybody. I don't know anybody. I don't know, right? But I am saying this based on the things I have been able to find out, diving deep into Black history, right? If you look around, Black people are natural influencers. Black people, you will not maltreat Black people and they sit back and keep quiet. No, they don't keep quiet, right? They know how to scream when it comes to talking about their problems. That is something that I've known them with. They don't keep quiet. They scream it, they shout it, so people will hear, so people will know, right? So that in the end, it will be recorded. If you look around, that's why, like, each time I talk about African American history is well documented. There is nothing you look for that you don't find. It is usually well documented. There are some people's listening, you are not able to find some certain things. Why? Because they keep quiet, they don't talk about what is going on in their community and all of that. That also reminds me about what happened during the period Hispanics were having problem, immigration problem. You all remember Black people told them not to do something, but they ended up doing it. Why? Because why do we have to listen to Black people? So when the repercussion of what they did started, they came out to say that it is not in their culture to speak out. They were calling for Black people to come out, to come and speak for them. Black people are the noisemakers. I mean, you all are the ones that know how to make noise. The truth is that they already know how powerful Black people are. Very powerful, natural influencers. They don't keep quiet. When it is something that if there is need to say that, they definitely will say that. Now it's really amazing how they are benefiting from Black people, right? But they don't want to accept the fact that they are benefiting from Black people. It's called leeching. They are leech, people that suck from you, but you cannot get anything from them. And then you help them, and you become the bad person when you withdraw because there is need for you to withdraw and all that. I see a lot of them making a lot of noise. I call that noise because you all are not speaking. Because if you people really are ready to know what is going on in your community or to settle what is going on in your community, you all will definitely come out. Come out and do something for your community. Not looking for somebody that is going to fight for you. The ones that did fight, but you all took them for granted. So I am calling you all to stop being jealous, right? Move down to your hometown. If you all think that Black people did not do enough, and I hope you all saw Trump's video where he said there is no need for ceasefire. Why? Because it is going to be in Kamala Harris' favor. I hope you all are gearing up because you all are gearing up, right? It's really going to be awesome for you all. And I still see a lot of Black people supporting them. I do not have anything against anybody, but I don't mess around with my own people and expect something good to still come out of it. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.